Hi! So I have been meaning to film a favorites video since the beginning of January. I really wanted to keep track of all the things that I've been loving, and we are well into February now, and I've had so many technical difficulties leading up to this point, so I just really wanted to share that with you guys. A little disclaimer: if you do hear the wind howling outside, we are in the midst of a storm coming through or passing through in London, and so yeah, if that's what you hear in the background, I closed my window for the first time since moving in here. I've always left it open, like at least a crack, just to let fresh air in, but yeah, it is insane. I see other people's windows opening and closing, so bear with me. And yeah, let's look into my current favorites. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the books that I have been loving, and the first one that is probably one of my all-time favorite books, a book that I recommend to everybody to read, is A Song for the Wild Built by Becky Chambers. It is just, it's a warm hug in a good book. That's the best way to describe it. And so the summary of it is, or just a small summary of it, is this person who decides that they're unfulfilled with the life that they've been leading and they want to go on an adventure or change things up for themselves, and they decide to become a tea monk, or they travel around and they offer tea and wisdom to people who come to them with their problems. And so then they find that this is also a little unfulfilling or not exactly what they were looking for, and so they embark on a new adventure and they meet a robot that is from the industrial times of the novel. I don't want to spoil it, I don't want to give away too much. I just really recommend this book. It is meant for people who feel a little lost, or people who feel they are also searching for their purpose, which I just think is exactly where I can describe myself being. And so yeah, I strongly recommend that book. The next book I want to discuss is The Defining Decade by Meg Jay. It is just such a good book for people who are in their 20s to read, because she talks about how the 30s are the new 20s, if that makes sense. And it goes into how we can be taking control of our lives now, how we can start building the lives that we want in the future for ourselves, and just the overall importance of our 20s. And I think that that's really important for people in their 20s or headed into their 20s to understand, and how, you know, just taking advantage of opportunities that we have available to us now is really important. And it's not necessarily about, you know, making the most money right away or just jumping straight into a job that will, you know, make us some money. It's about building identity capital and about how we are starting to build ourselves from the ground up, in a sense. And yeah, it is just a really insightful book. I definitely recommend that to anybody who's, you know, 18 to 29, honestly. I think that's something that's also really important about The Defining Decade, is that it's, although it is meant for 20-something-year-olds, I feel like the lessons can be brought into your life regardless of what age you are. And you can, you know, it's never too late to restart or to start something new or to try something new. And yeah, I really hope that you guys take a second or take a moment to read that and reflect on it and kind of, you know, build yourself up a little bit in some way. I don't know, I just love that book so much. Alrighty, so on to shows and movies that I have been loving, binging, all of, like, just overall enjoying are The House. So I stumbled upon The House on Netflix just because I thought it looked like Fantastic Mr. Fox. I think it had just released that day in January or February, I don't know, sometime recently. But I just saw it and I was like, oh, this looks so cute, like I want to watch it. And it was very enjoyable, and it was cute because it's stop motion, but oh my god, it was just so much better than I could have anticipated it to be. It's an anthology of these 3 short stories about one house, and oh my god, it was just so good, and I loved it. It's a comfort movie for me now, you know, like, it's just so good. The next movie that I want to get into that I have watched years ago and just rewatched recently is Begin Again. And this movie is just so close to my heart. It's so good. The music is so good. It has a great cast with Keira Knightley, Mark Ruffalo, Adam Levine, and so many more. CeeLo Green is in it. It's just so good. And the soundtrack is so good. And it's like a 500 Days of Summer vibe, but with music, and it's so good. A TV show that I have loved, it's not on Netflix. I watched it on the plane ride from LA to London, so I'm not too sure which streaming provider or service it's on, but it's White Lotus, and oh my god, also just so good, so enjoyable. It's about a couple of different white families or groups or couples, however you want to describe it, characters overall, and it's about their stay on a resort and how they intermingle with each other and how they interact with the employees of the hotel and the locals around them, and it is just a really good commentary on like the socioeconomic class struggle between locals and, you know, wealthy white people. And I'm a huge fan of reading on Reddit or different sites on what other people's take or analysis of each episode is, and so I would also recommend doing that. I like to do that with like everything though, so if you're also somebody who likes to do that, where you like to like watch a movie or watch a TV episode and then like kind of read the discourse on it, people get into it and it's really, really good. And finally, that I have to recommend is Down to Earth. Yeah, Down to Earth with Zac Efron, because that show is just, it kind of scratches my little travel bug in my brain, and like I think it's really comforting. Or like when you can't travel or you're stuck inside like I am today with the wind. I'm a little side note, I'm not terrified of wind, but I strongly dislike it. I've disliked it for a long time, unless I'm at the beach. That's the only time I can tolerate it. But I don't really like the way the wind feels against my skin. I've gotten a lot better about it since moving. I feel like this past month or so, I've really been trying to get out of that mindset, mentality of not liking the wind. But today it is reaching up to 100 miles per hour. Anyway, that was a total tangent. Sorry about that. So basically, yeah, I love Down to Earth with Zac Efron, and it's really good. Introspection on like different cities and different communities within different countries, and I think Zac Efron kind of goes as far as living like a local with these different people and communities, and yeah, I highly recommend that as well. Alrighty, so some things that I've been loving to do recently. I love to make my own jewelry. My aunt showed me this, my Auntie Lisa, shout out. She taught me how to make jewelry back in September, I want to say, and it is just so fulfilling and satisfying to picture something in your head and then bring it to life. And I love doing this with jewelry. I love wearing it. I wish that there was more options available within London. If anybody knows of anywhere I could find like beads or jewelry making equipment here in London, I have not been able to find any around me whatsoever. But yeah, I love making jewelry and just drawing overall in general, or creating. I've gotten into animation recently and I've been dabbling with that and like Procreate. Well, I've always kind of been into animation. I took an animation class in high school, and it's just so fun to like see your little character do its thing, you know? So I absolutely love that. Skateboarding, I picked up skateboarding November of 2020. It was like my quarantine hobby. My friend introduced me to it, and yeah, I've loved it. I suck and I'm terrified most of the time, and I can't do many tricks on the skateboard, but it's really fun. The only sucky thing is that like London doesn't have the smoothest streets or the best streets to skate on. LA definitely has that advantage over it, but yeah, it's just really peaceful when I finally get to go out and skate and do something. And you know, like I said, not the best streets out here for that, or it's raining or what have you, but it's a new skill that I picked up, and I really enjoy it. Kind of miscellaneous objects that I've loved are this little pouch that my sister got me. It is just the cutest little pouch that I have ever seen, and I will find stuff, ads I guess, on my Instagram Explore page, and if the caption is ever written in Korean, I sent it to my older sister because she lives in Korea, and I'm like, hey, can you buy this for me? Like, can you buy it and send it over? Like, you know, I just do that with anything that I see that's written in Korean. And so for my birthday, she actually got me this, and since I didn't see her until, you know, 2 months ago, like, she actually gave it to me, and it's so cute. And of course inside, like, I have to put this in there, and it's my Tamagotchi that I got for Christmas from my mom. I have been wanting a Tamagotchi for so long, and I didn't think of like ever getting myself one, but when it came around to Christmas time and my mom was like, give me your list, of course I had to put that on there. While we're in the realm of cute things that I asked for Christmas, I have to include Kiroi night lamp that I asked for from my mom, and just, he's so cute. And I don't know what it is about the whole little yellow bird character that I love so much, like Woodstock or Irene, a Korean character, but I love Kiroi. He has my heart. If you guys haven't checked out the Rilakuma show on Netflix, it's so good, and Kiroi is in it, and I love the TV show, love my light lamp. I haven't put batteries in it, mainly because I don't know, I just haven't gotten around to it, but I just love the way he looks when he's just sitting on my desk, and it's just serotonin to the brain, you know? My camera shut off, but I was just about to get into just some random things that I love, which include Sriracha Hippies, my new faux leather jacket, which I just thrifted, and honestly, like, thrifting in general is just something that I thoroughly enjoy. I always try to shop secondhand before I buy something new, but something that I really want to look into is renting clothing out. I know that there's a huge market out there in the US. I haven't really been able to find an equivalent here in the UK just yet. I think like I said, I'm just doing my research, but I haven't been able to find anything that is the equivalent to Rent the Runway, which I think is just such a cool concept, and I love that. And so yeah, that's just something that I want to look into next month or these upcoming months here in the UK. And yeah, if you want to listen to the songs that I've been loving, I will leave a Spotify link below. I definitely have a lot more. I love to explore, I love to learn new things, I love to go beyond the genres that I am typically interested in, so if you have any recommendations of what you've been loving, let me know. I want to hear, I want to read, I want to participate. I think it can really help bring a sense of community when it comes to online platforms, which I think is something that I value. Everybody says that they value community, but I just think it's what makes us human, and being able to kind of connect on those levels is very important to me. So anyway, yeah, if you enjoyed these or any of these, or you've loved any of these, or you're gonna check them out, let me know. Like I said, I love to talk about stuff like this, and yeah, that's about it. I don't know if that was a lot or a little bit to share, but I hope you have a good day. Stay safe out there. We're almost through February, which I've heard is the hardest month in London to get through, so we're almost there. Okay, take care. Stay warm, stay happy, stay safe. Love you. Bye.